Hi everyone, this is Course 3, Lesson 78, Products of Square Roots. Okay, so we already know that we can take a square root, and if we have factors under them, we can split the square root apart into the square root of one factor times the square root of another factor, and that's how we figure out how to simplify square roots. Well, if we can separate it, we can work the opposite direction and say that if we have the square root of a factor times the square root of another factor, we can then write it as the square root of the product of those factors. And then we can simplify. Okay, so I have three examples that we're going to go through today. The first one is the square root of 3 times the square root of 12. And so I know that that is the square root of 3 times 12, which is the same thing as the square root of 36. And I know the square root of 36, that is 6. Okay, the square root of 42 times the square root of 24. Now, I do not want to try to multiply 42 times 24. That is going to be it's going to be a large number, and then I'm going to have to try to figure out what numbers go into that number. So what I can do, though, is use prime factorization. Okay, because if I can find the factors of 42 and of 24, maybe I can match some up so that I can take the square root of them and then put those numbers on the outside. So 42 would be 6 times 7, which is 2 times 3. So this is the square root of 42, which is 2, 3, and 7. And 24 will be 6 and 4, which is 2 and 3 and 2 and 2. And you might be looking at this going, aha, that's a perfect square, and you're right. But I'm going to write these all out just to show you how this works. Okay, now I have all the prime factors up here. Now I can group them together, right? I have two 2's here. So I can write that as the square root of 2 times 2, and that's going to work for me really well. I have another pair here, 2 times 2, and then the 3's are going to pair up, and then I have a 7 left. Okay, now remember that if I have two factors that are the same, I can take the square root of them and one will come out, right? The square root of 2 times 2, that's 4. Square root of that is 2. So this part right here is going to be a 2 on the outside. And this part right here is going to be a 2 on the outside because I'm taking the square root. And the square root of 9 is 3. So I have just a 7 left underneath. Multiply all these factors together. 2 times 2 is 4 times 3 is 12, so this is 12 square roots of 7. Over here, we have a 3 on the outside. We have the square root of 6 times the square root of 15. So we have 3 square roots of 6, or 3 times the square root of 6, times the square root of 15. So I can multiply 6 times 15. That would be 90. So this is 3 square roots of 90, and then I can break 90 down. Okay, so now it's not just multiply, you also have to simplify. 90 is perfect square that goes into 90 is 9, and then 10. So 9 times 10 is 90. This then becomes 3 times 3 because the square root of 9 is 3. Times the square root of 10, and 3 times 3 is 9, so I have 9 square roots of 10 remaining. Okay, so it's just another step in the process of figuring out what to do with square roots. And I will see you in class.